Hi, I'm Rich Bontrager, and welcome to my video blog, The Uncivilized Pastor. You know, I'm going to share a little bit today about a greater message that I'm going to be rolling out in 2014. It touches on a very important subject that many people are beginning to wrestle with and deal with, the subject of bullying. You know, most of us have heard the old saying, sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. We've heard it, we've used it, and it's one of the most horrible lies I think we're telling people today. And we've been telling it for years. The fact is, words do hurt. They hurt incredibly, painfully, and deeply. See, I grew up in the John Wayne era. You remember John Wayne the Duke, right? He was in all those old Western movies. John Wayne was so cool because John Wayne never let anything get to him. John Wayne was a man's man, as they said. And he would show us time and time again that big boys don't cry. No matter what came, no matter what happened, big boys, big girls, tough guys, tough girls, we don't cry. We just suppress it and stuff it down, and you don't dare show how much you're hurting. And that included being bullied. But the fact is, the tongue is a fire. The tongue can actually do amazing, powerful things, but it's like a flaming arrow that's lit on fire and is shot at people. And the intention of bullying is they want to hurt you and scar you as much as they can. Have you ever been burned? I have. I have first degree, second degree, and third degree burns on my body. And I have the scars to prove it, still to this day. And as bad as it is to get burned, as bad as it was to be on fire, you know what's even worse? What's really worse is when you have a third degree burns and the nerves are shot. You don't feel anything. But as you have time and healing, the nerves come back together and they grow. And that's actually more painful than the burn itself. You know, there's a lot of people that are like that today. They've been burned so much. And they've been hit so many times. The real pain is when they start feeling again. When they want to take one more chance and they want to try again, but a narrow arrow comes out and they get shot again and they have to go through all the pain. And they have to hear it again. That sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. See, we need to change that philosophy. We need to change that teaching, and we need to present the truth that it is painful, that there are wounds, that there are scars. 160,000 students per day decide not to go back to school because of bullying that takes place the day before or the week before. And of that 160,000 students, 1 out of 10 gives up and never goes back to their school. They decide it's not worth riding the bus. It's not worth being on the team. I can't walk my hallways anymore. I'm done. And they keep being told it's not that bad. They didn't mean what they said. They were just having fun with you. That's what I heard growing up. See, my last name is Bontrager. Now, some of you are already thinking, wow, that's a mouthful, and you're going to have a lot of fun with that one if you're a bully, and they did. See, not only did I have a strange-sounding name to a lot of people, I had bad eyes, deaf in one ear, and I had a horrible stutter growing up. A terrible, terrible stutter. So they would tease me every day. They call me things like butt-rager, bomb booger. And because of my stutter, because of what my mouth would try to do and could not do, they would say things like Ritter Ron Rager, and even worse things. See, all these years later, I can remember all the arrows, all the darts, all the scars. It's very, very real that people will say cruel things because a tongue is a fire. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. That's the thing. We don't have to accept the lie anymore. We don't have to tell people that words don't cause pain. Instead, let's teach the truth, and the truth is words are powerful. In the book of Proverbs, in the Bible, some of the wisest men that ever lived penned and wrote down great little nuggets of wisdom from life and learning. And one of them says, you can bring death or life. The tongue can bring death or life. Your words can bring death or life. Think of the power of that. That the tongue, the words that come out of our mouth, can kill somebody, and it really does. Or it can pump somebody up. It can build somebody up. Also in the book of Proverbs, it says some people make cutting remarks. Oh, they love the lock and load. They love to fire those darts. Some people, they're just that way. However, it goes on to say, but the words of the wise bring healing. See, smart people, wise people, people that care know you can be cut down or you can be built up. And it all comes out of the same mouth. And I believe there's a lot of people that want to do a lot of healing. They want to change that horrible lie and tell the truth. See, I had a friend of mine, Christy was her name. We were dating in high school, and she knew that I had had a bad time growing up. She knew that kids had picked on me, my identity was shot, my self-confidence, my self-esteem. I just didn't feel good about myself. But as we dated, she began to help me with my stutter. She began to do things to encourage me to see myself not as something that was put together wrong, but to realize that God doesn't make junk. See, what she actually did was kind of interesting. She teased me about my stuttering. Now, everyone else had teased me in a negative, bad, cynical way. She teased me in a way that was with love and encouragement. And she teased me in a way that helped me to overcome and to embrace who I was. I would call her up and try to get her to go out on a date. And my tongue would get all nervous and I would say all the wrong things. And she would be on the other end of the phone saying, well, what do you want? Come on, just spit it out, Rich. Are you trying to ask me out? Come on. Or if we went dancing some night, she would do the same thing. She encouraged me to overcome, not to give in, and not to believe in the lie. I had shed many tears over my stuttering. I would come home crying because I couldn't read out loud, and the ridicule and the words were painful from the classroom. And all that changed through my high school years. For the last 30 years, I have made my living with my mouth. I have traveled as a professional speaker. I have been a professional broadcaster. I am now a pastor. And that never would have happened if it would have always been the flaming arrows. If it always would have been the darts that were coming. People like Christy decided to breathe life and no longer breathe death into me. And it made a radical change in my life. I believe that can happen today. I believe it is happening today. I believe more and more people are no longer accepting bullying as being something that we tolerate. Instead, we have a choice. And each one of us has a choice. Each word that we say can either bring death or life. Which will you choose today? Will you be someone who builds up? Or will you be someone that tears down? I believe there's a revolution that's coming, and it's going to change the way we think of that old phrase, sticks and stones, they break our bones. But words do forever hurt us. If you want more information about this talk, and there's much, much more with this presentation, contact me through my main website, richbontrager.com. Or send me an email, rich@richbontrager.com. I would love to come and share my Sticks and Stones message. Come to your school, come to your church, come to your organization. This is not just a teenager thing, this is also an adult thing. Because there are many adults that are still dealing with the baggage and the pain and the scars of bullying that happened years and years ago. Again, that's richbontrager.com, the uncivilized pastor. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.